Today we'll be seeing the one by one. So for every language, we require some data to be stored. So for programming language, whichever you are learning, at the beginning you will be finding that there's something called data types and the variables. So when we talk about the variables, so it's a piece of data for which we are going to give a name. So a piece of data, so it has been the data that has been given. So we have some data. So we have some data. So to that particular data, I'm giving one name. So that name has been associated with that particular data. So that is what we call as a variable. So what is the purpose of that? I want to store and I want to do some operations like manipulation of the data in the program. So it's like a mailbox which holds all specific information. It's like a mailbox which is going to store all my information. So mailbox is like a variable. So variable is nothing but your mailbox. Say something like I have something called A. Now this is storing some information 10. So 10 is a value which is storing in the variable A. So now A is called as a variable of integer data type because it is storing numbers. So it we call this an integer variable. So like that, it is a name which is associated with the data. So it is being linked with data. So it has been linked with particular data. Okay. So how it will be? So in our JavaScript, we use the word called var. So we are going to use the keyword called var. Okay, var is nothing but variable. So if I'm saying var and saying this is an x, now x is a variable. X is a variable which is going to store the value called 10 or that data called 10. So this is a data. So this is a data. So this is a data and this is a variable. Okay, so this is your variable. Okay, so this is a variable and this is a data. Now here again you can see the another example. Again y is a variable and 17 is the data. Now again here you can say color is a variable. Again it is storing the data. So when I'm saying this one, when I'm trying to enclose anything in quotes, when I'm enclosing anything in the quotes, then this will be treated as string data type. We treat it as this as a string data type. We treat it as this as a string data type. When I'm going for storing a numbers like this, if I'm storing a numbers in this fashion, then we call this as an integer data type because it's a numbers. So we call this as an integer data type. So we call this as a integer data type. Okay. So here name, color, y, x, these are all are the variables of different kinds of data. So data can be of numbers or data can be of strings or date. It can be anything. Okay. So what is the main purpose of we are using this one? Because I want to store something information. So you can what I explained over here is this one. So how I can, so you can say your name is a variable. Name is a variable and the value is the that is going to store in the variable. So the data is stored in the variable. So here I have given in a previous example, there is something called color and a red. So color is what? It's a name for the variable. It's a name for the variable and red is a value. So which I already told in the previous. So this is a value or the data we call and this is a variable. Okay. So this is what he has been we have been explaining. So this is what the variable concept. Then coming to the variable, we have different types of variables. One is primitive data type and we have something called composite data type. We have two different types of data types. Now why we are going for the data type? Because as I telling you that I have the variable and I'm storing the value. So what kind of value are storing? Different kinds of value are storing. So those value has been split into two types. One is primitive data types, another is composite data types. Coming to the primitive data types, numbers, right? from 0 to 9, the digits which is going to store. So for this I have to say that something called var variable r, okay, or say something called rx, something like this. So this is a variable which is going to store some number. So 34. So I want to store like this. Okay, so number variable. So when I'm saying something called string variable, so it is an alphanumeric character, so it can be from a to z, or it can be a numbers, or it can be a symbols, special characters. Okay, it can be a symbols. So iPhone dash, something like this. So I can store any symbols. Then coming to the boolean data type, I can store something called yes or no, or we call it the true or false. So I can have this kind of data type. Then I have something called arrays and objects. Now this we call as a composite data type. So when I'm saying arrays, similar types of data type I'll be having, similar types of objects or similar types of content you'll be having. Similar type of content you'll be having. So you will be going to have something like similar objects. Say I have bulk of information. So I have something called A is there, B is there, then C is there. These are being enclosed in something called braces. That is your flower brackets. So it is going to store the similar kinds of objects. Okay, images or any kind of, that means it will be storing any similar kind of data is called as an array. So here I am storing only single value. I am storing a single value over here. Okay, so here if you see, remember if you see the previous one, so I am storing y is equal to 17, color is equal to red, like this. I am storing a single value. But when I am coming to the arrays, I will be storing multiple values of similar objects. That is the definition of the arrays. Then coming to the objects, that it is also the same thing here, where you will be storing in a form of like what you call images or anything that you want to store in a bulk. I will be storing the objects, video files, audio files. I will be going to store, and I will be calling that in a label. So we will call this an object linking embedding. So I can link those things using the object. So this is also one kind of object. So that means I want to store images. I want to store, upload the videos and audios. So for that I want to store in this purpose. So different kinds of data types we are having, where it is going to store the numbers, the characters, the true or false, bulk of numbers, or some objects. Okay, so one by one we'll be seeing. So when I'm saying numbers, so it can be either a digits or a decimal values. When I'm saying this integers, it is a sequence of letters, or it can be a single quotes or double quotes. So you can, if you see, I have been written over here. You can see I have written this red as in double quotes, H as in double quotes, like this. So I can specify in a single or double quote. So you have to remember that one. Okay, when I'm coming about the boolean, so it is going to store the true or false. So these are the primitive data types. Now what is the main the variables and the data type difference between this? What are the things we'll be doing? So when I'm saying JavaScript is an untyped one, because we don't have any specific data type. You take the another languages, it is having some specific. When I say integer means int variable, int data type is there. String means string data type is there. For that I have to declare integer, or I have to, for character I have to say character. Like this, we specifically, it has been mentioned some names to them. But in the JavaScript, for all it has been mentioned only single word as var. So that's why it says it doesn't have any explicit data type. It doesn't have any specifically particular data type. Integer means int. Okay, so if I'm depending upon the value, so here I have been giving, when I'm giving the values, when I'm giving the values like this, then automatically this will be treated as character. When I'm giving the numbers, this will be treated as integer character. So we don't have any specific. For all we are using something called var only. But if you take the C language, C++, or Java language, or any language, for each and every. So for if it is a number, I have to specifically I have to say there is a data type called integer. For characters, we have something called char data type. For if you have decimal value, we have something called float or long. Like this, we have specifically they have data type. But when you come into a JavaScript, we don't have any such kind of thing. For all, we are having the var as a keyword. Depending upon the value we are passing, that will be treated as primitive data type or a composite data type. Okay, so that is was the thing. And for there is no way to specify the particular variable represent integer, real numbers or something. So that is what I said. Then the same variable can be different data type and different context. So I can say, excuse me. Yeah, sorry for dilemma. I got a call. Okay. Yeah. So what is the first one is saying it doesn't require any data type, and second one it's saying that no specific particular variable represent integer, string, or real time. I said. Then the third one it says that one variable can have the different name, so different context. Say here if I say if I give the example over here, so if I say a is equal to 10, then again I can say a is equal to uh, x, y, and z. So what is this? Again, this is a variable. So keyword I have to use for this. So I have to say var. Now for this also I will be using something called var. Now you can, if you remember, if you see here, what is happening over here. Here I have something called a, and here you have something called a. So the third statement says that the same variable can have different types of different context. Okay, so here same variable is there, but the value is different. So this is integer. So this has become integer. So because it's, as I told you, this is an integer data type, and this is a string data type. So this kind of things can only happen in the scripting language JavaScript. So it will in the Java or in C or C++, this is not possible. Okay. So when I say once it is declared as integer, it is integer only. Then it cannot be taken. So it's in JavaScript, we don't have that kind of restrictions. So that is what it says. First, you don't require any type. So this is, we don't require any. So it is an untype. So this is an untype. Second one, we are not have any specific rule that it is integer, it should be integer, or it should be string, it should be real. Say if it is a C language, I will be writing like this: int a. That means this is going to store only integer data type, and for that I have to say only integer. So I have to use int as a keyword. For if it is a double, I have to use double keyword. If it is a float, float keyword I have to use. If it is a character, I have to use character keyword. Okay, but in JavaScript, we don't have that kind of thing. For all, the common thing is keyword is var. That is what the first one. So it doesn't have any typed one. It is an untyped one. So no what do you call explicit data type is there. Then coming to the second one, it says that it doesn't have any integer. So as I'm declared over here integer float, so that doesn't have such kind of things we can go for. And third one, it is saying that you can have the different data. So I have different data for the different context. So you have different data for the different context. Okay. So this is about the variable and the data type. Then coming to the implicit data type. So I have something called implicit and explicit data type. When I'm going for this, although Java does not have any explicit data type, and it does have only implicit data type. Now what is this implicit data type? If you have expression with combines two numbers, you can evaluate the numbers. If you can express the string and number, it can express as a string. Now what do you mean by this? See, when I say something called a is equal to 10, say again I have something called variable a is equal to 10, and I have something called variable b is equal to 10 or 20, something like this. Then I want to do calculation of this. Then if I say a is equal to a plus b, when I say like this, automatically my C value will be going to store the value of 30. So how it has been possible? That is what the implicit data. So it says that if you combine both the numbers, so I'm combining. So how I'm combining using some arithmetic operators. I'm using some operators. I'm combining. So what will the results for me? I'm getting the results of this one. So I'm getting this particular evaluate the number. So I'll get the output as a number only. Now if you go to combine the string and the number, say here I have something called x is equal to 10, and I have y is equal to, in single quotes, ABC, something like this. Then when I say z is equal to x plus y, so I'm combining this both the variables. So when I say x plus y, then my result is 10 ABC. So my result is 10 ABC. So this is what he wants to say. So this is about the implicit data. So based upon the data you have been doing, according to that, you're going to get the results. Okay, so the first line says that it doesn't have explicit data, it have only implicit data. So implicit data means whatever you give on that, whatever the operation you are going to perform, based upon the operation you will get the that particular result. So say example, if I'm adding two numbers, I'll get the number. If I'm adding strings, I'll get the two strings. If I add number and the string, it will going to give me the string as an answer. Okay, suppose if I put this in a, like I have said something called, another example, I have something called y is equal to, because I clear here only the doubt. So I have y is equal to 20 is there, and again I have something called z. Now z also have 20, but it has been declared as in single quotes. So if you see here, these two are different. These two are different. This is y is an integer which is taking only digits, but here if you see this z, this is not the integer. For us it is an integer, but if you see it is an enclosed in a single quote, so that computer will going to treat it as this as a string value. Now when you do the operation on this, that is x plus y or y plus z, if you do this, so if I write something called, if I say a is equal to y plus z, if I use that a is equal to y plus z, then what is the answer I will going to get? 40 should get, because it's not 40, because one is string, one is string, one is number. So actually, if it is not both a number, I should get 40. But here one is in the string and one is in integer. So you should be very careful with this. So if you're doing this, I'll not get the answer as a 20 40. I'll going to get the answer as 20 20. So you should be very careful while doing such kind of things. So this is what the what you call implicit data. Okay, so if you are doing like this, a is equal to 10 and b is equal to 20, these both are integers, so I'll get the answer as a 20. If you go for something like this, number and integer characters, then I'll going to get the combine, so it is going to combine like this. But one is, both are in numbers, but one is in enclosed in a single quotes or double quotes, and another is not enclosed, so then one will treat it as number, another treat as string. So when I combine this, I'll going to get the answer in this fashion. So you should be very careful while doing such kind of operations. Okay, so here the examples has been given like this. So examples of the variables. So here I can have a lot of variables are there over. So here I have x as a variable, y as a variable, z as a variable, q as a variable, on which I am doing some operations. So here I am saying is the x is greater than 15. So I am adding this x plus y, I am added. So this is, I got the answer 15. So I am adding both the things. Now here I am adding something called z and x. So z is this one and x is this one. So I got the answer as a cat 4. Then when I'm saying something called uh, x and q, so x is this one 4 and q is 17. So when I'm doing this 417, this is what the example I've given just now. So again, some more examples I have given like this. So this is how you're going to do with your variables. So this is what the implicit data. So more examples, if you want, you can see the more examples. So again, example I have been solving with the three variables. So I have taken three variables, so x, y, and z. Now when I'm doing this, so I can see it has been done 4 and 11, both are numbers, so it has been taken 15. But when coming to z, it is in character because it has been enclosed in a single quotes or double quotes. Based upon that, I got the result. Now if you see this one, now this is also number, this is also number, and coming to this is a character. So q, x, z I'm saying. So when I'm going for this q is what? 17. Then x and y is should be get 15, but it is giving 4 and 11. Why? Because x is being, x and y, it has been calculated after the string. It is calculated after the string. So what the thing, it will think that okay, I have to combine this is a number. So if you see this one, this example and this example, if you see these two examples, in this what is happening, in the first it is doing the calculation because both numbers are matching, doing the calculation, then it is adding the string. But here what it is doing, adding the string to the calculation part. So here it is not going to calculate. So you should be very careful with this. Just wait more. Okay, so this is the examples. So you should be see, if you before, if you have string, then thereafter if you are doing any operation, so that it will not going to applicable any kind of arithmetic operation will be applicable, though you have, so it will be treated as everything as a string only, because you are merging the content with string, so rest of things will be treated as string. But here if you see here, first you are doing the arithmetic operations, so the both are the numbers are there, so it is calculating, then thereafter it is adding the content. So this is how you will be getting. So these are the real time examples where you can find it. So while writing the program, you should be very careful. These are the things, basic steps you should remember. Then coming to the composite arrays, composite data type, we have the two types of data type. One is array and as well another is an object. So when I'm going for the array, so it says saying that compound data, that is if you have more than single data, okay, that I want to store all the content in a pieces of information. So the all the pieces of information I want to put it in a single one, then that is called as an array. Okay, then each number, each array part, that is whatever the components are there, it has been having some numbers, we call that as an index number. Say example, I have the value calls something like I have 10, I have a 20, I have a 30, like this. So I told similar object that has been going to store in a common place. So this is an array concept. Now what do you find here? All it is storing numbers. So it is an integer of array data type. Okay, if I'm having all the characters, then it is saying that it's an array of string characters. So what is happening? Previously, I am storing each and every value with a something called var a is equal to 10. I am saying when I'm saying like this, so it is going to store only single value. But now I'm storing multiple values of similar objects. So when I'm doing this, this is concept of array. Now for this value is there. Now for this, how it will be going to identify? This is going to identify, each will be identified with some numbers. Now these numbers we call as an index. We call this as an index. So the first one will be started from 0, second will be started from 1, and third will be started as 2. So it will be labeled as from starting from 0 to 2. So the array size is total for this is 2. So when I say the size is 2, it means that it starts from the 0 to 1. So it has been given each and every component, that is each and every data that is being spaced in the array data type will be have some numbers. So it will be denoted by some numbers. That numbers we call as an index. So you can say here it is an element. So we call these are all are a single element. So 10 is an element, 20 is an element, 30 is an element. Okay, so it is having combination of all the elements which has been assigned as an index, and the array stands from a single value, as a this stands from 0. So it is this count. So I'll be counting total, you will say 3, but the size of this is 2. So when I'm saying size of this is 2, when I'm saying 2, it means that it is starting from 0, 1, and 2. Okay, so the element of an array be any type. So single array can even store element of different data type. So this can array can also store not only same digits, I can store all from. So I can here I can say 10, then here I can say Ranjit, here I can say date of birth, something like this. So I can store the different types of different elements also. This is, can have only happen only in the JavaScript. Then how I'll be going to create an array? So we have something called like this, variable a. Now a is what? It's an a variable which is going to store the numbers of array data. So what is the format I'll be going to say? I'll be giving like this. So I'll be using some predefined method. So this is a method that is available in the JavaScript. So what is the JavaScript method is available? One method is something called array. We call that as a constructor, which is going to have the storing the value. So if I want to store any values, I can store like this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, like this also I can store. Or I can store b is equal to new 10. That means it will going to store one digit, one single value also I can store. Okay, or I can give the literals like this. I can say c is equal to, I can specify this. So for this particular JavaScript, we don't have any restrictions. So I use either this one or I can use this one. If you go for C and C++, we will be using something called this particular of Angular. So if you're going for the Java, we'll be using this one. and for C++ I'll be using this particular square brackets. So JavaScript is using this, either this, either this. So I can go for it. So this is total sizes of 4, and it starts from 0. So 0, 1, 2, and 3, and 4. So you'll be having like this. I'll be having this one. So this has been internally will be identified. So that means if I say a of 3, so if I say a of 3, so of 3 means I'll be writing like this. So when I say third element of array, so when I'm doing like this, then what is the third element according to this? So this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. That means I'm going to get the answer as 4. So if I do like this, I'm going to get the answer as a 4. If I say a of 4, if I say a of 4, then I'm going to get the result as 5. If I say a of 5, then it will say there is no value with that means it is crossing your array. So it will give the error for me. So it is going to give me the error that because it is not available over here. And I cannot give any negative value for this. So I cannot go for negative values. So it is only positive values only have to be. So index are been always specified with positive values, no negative values. Okay. So we'll see the example on this. So how I'll be going to access. So this is how you can see the example. So if I want to get the value of this, so I have been storing something called red, green, and blue, and I want to know the what is the value at 0. So 0 is the value red. If I say what is the value at 1, I'm going to get the value of green. That means if I want to know, so why I'm doing like this, because instead of storing in a single variable, I can store the variable like this in multiple way, because these are all are string values. It is having similar objects. So I have the concept of array. So array is the concept is going to store the similar objects. So I'm storing the similar objects, then and it is easy for me to retrieve also. How I'll be retrieving by index number. So this is the index number. See, this is the index number. So with the help of this index number, I can able to get the value. So though I have hundreds and thousands of values also, with the help of this particular index value, I can retrieve the value that is located on that particular position. So this is the position. So index number is nothing but the position of the element. So this is the position. So here I'm saying what is the color one position. So when I'm saying color one position, don't say this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. The first one begins with the 0. So 0, 1, 2. So the color position of 1 is green. This is what he wants to tell you. Now, how you going to add a new element in the array? That means already I have, now I want to add a new element. So I'll be saying at location 50, add 17. So we have something called A, which is of size of 10. So at 50 location, you can add the 17. So in the 50th location, the 17 will be added. So how it will be, like example, if I say an array, I have something like, I'm able to draw over here. So if is this an array, so it has been split into like boxes. So I have been storing in my computer, say 2, then 5, then it is 7, then it is like this I'm storing. So it will be, as I told, array will be storing like this in a form of index. So it will be a of 0. So it is a of 0. Then this is a of 1. This is a of 2. And this is a of 3. So at this location, the data has been got stored. Now I want to add the value of a of 5. So I want to add a of 5, and for the 5 location, I want to give the answer. So I want to store something called 100. So I will be storing the value like this. So this is how I'll be storing the value. So that means there is some box is available. That means the array is there where it is going to have something called a of 4 and a of 5, a of 6, like this we have. So a of 5 is this one. So this is 4 and this is 6. So here I will going to get the 100 will be stored in this position. So the 100 value will be going to store at this position. Okay. So this is how I'll be going to add the values in this particular array. Then I want to, like, if you have going on entering the values like this. So I just told you that hundreds of records are there. Then I want to know what is the size of this. So when I'm talking about the size is 3, because as I already told, the size is 3 because this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. So the count is 3. So the total count is 3. But when I want to know the value of this, then that we call as a position. So be careful with the length and the position. So here when I'm saying size is 3, but the positions are 0, 1 and 2. So this is first 0 position, this is first position, this is second position. So when I'm telling about that, that is a position. When I'm saying this is 2, then it means that it is from 0 to 2, which are been indicated as the index, or we call the position of the value. When I'm saying this, it is a total count of the value. So it is going to say the total count of the value. Yeah, tell me now. Somebody is raising the question. You can just ask me. Yeah, you can just speak to me now. Those who have doubt, you can speak to me. Any doubt? If you have doubt, you can just stop me and ask me then and there itself only. No reply? Okay. Yeah. So next, coming to the primitive data type versus composite data type. So what is the main difference between these two? Variables are primitive data types, holds the actual value, whereas composite data types hold the reference value. This is the main difference between this. So when I'm saying A is equal to 100, so this has become the primitive data type because 100 is the actual value which we are getting. When I'm saying composite value, that means it's in a reference of that. That means where this 100 has been stored. So as I just now I given, if you remember this one, this particular diagram, if you remember this, now this is the place, this is a 2. Where is this 2? Some XYZ position on my computer. So this is the address. So I'll be asking, how much marks you got? You will be saying, sir, 100 marks I got in the RDB mess. So that is your marks. Okay. So how you got this marks means you will be saying that so and so exam I have written, there is a question paper. So you have been telling about the question paper where it is. So you are telling that particular address where that is 100 marks has been allocated. So I had to go over there, I had to check the question paper. So the question paper has been located. So you are telling something like the value which has been coming for you, it has been located at so and so address. So this is the address. So XYZ is an address of where the 2 has been got stored. So I'm just giving an example. So 2 is the value, the actual value, which is called as a primitive data type. And XYZ01 to something like this. There is some code is there for that. That means for each and every data that has been stored on my computer, it has some address. We are being staying. So you have been studying in the AMS college. So that is your address. Where you stay means Hyderabad. That is your address. Okay. Then if I ask what's your roll number, then roll number is the actual value, and that number has been from where I'll be going to get. It's a reference of your AMS college. So AMS college is what is an address. So like that, you will be finding something called primitive data type and composite data type. When I say primitive data type, it's an actual value which is going to hold, and when I'm saying composite value, then it is a value which is reference to the reference of that particular value. That means the address. So simply you can say it's an address of that particular value. Shaheen, you can tell, ask ma, no need to raise the hand. If you have doubt, you can just speak to me. Shaheen, any doubt?
No, sir, by mistake it too.
Yes, ma. Yeah. So next one is variable name. So when I'm declaring the variables, you should be very thin. You observe what are the, when I'm writing any variable, what are the things to be noted down. First of all, when I'm saying variable a, that is where variable a, when I'm declaring like this a is different. When I'm saying variable a, these two are different. This is not both the same. So what it mean by JavaScript is a case sensitive. That means if I say a is equal to 10 and this a is also 10, then both the values are different. It's not the same. Okay. So when I'm declaring this one, because why I'm going for the case sensitive, because whenever I'll do any operation, so when I say a is c is equal to a and some operations or capital like something like this, if I do like this, then don't read that these are both are the same. No, it's both are different, because this is different, this is different. So when I'm declaring, you should be very careful while writing. So here you are writing a and somewhere you are writing in my program that this a is something. So suppose I'm saying, if I say I want to write a is equal a, where a, I have declared the variable like this, and afterwards I'll be assigning somewhere in my program, I'll write some steps, I'll write some code over here, then I'll say later on I want to use this, so I'll be saying a is equal to 100. Then when write like this, then it will be saying that this a is different and this a has been not declared by you. How are I going to identify? So it is a case sensitive. First point. Second one, it should not contain any special characters, that is spaces, punctuations, or it should not have any digit. Now what do you mean by this? I cannot write like this. I cannot write variable as 1 2 3. This is not a variable. This is not a variable. I cannot say where 1 C. I cannot write this one. Okay, because it should not start with the digits. I can write like this, variable C2. I can write like this. This is correct. Okay, I cannot say where 1C, or I cannot say 2C. These both are wrong. That means it should not begin with the numbers. That is the first point you have to remember. And if it is small letters, you should write wherever in the program if you are using, then you use the entire thing as any wherever. If you want that variable to be used, then you observe what you declared on the top. Same thing you have to declare. If it is small in the beginning, then you have to write the anywhere if it is that variable used, then you write it in a small question. If it is a big, you write it a big. That means depending on, so it's a case sensitive. Then it cannot have the special characters, or it cannot have the start with the numbers. Okay, a variable cannot be total numbers, or a variable cannot be have the combination. Combination can have, but it should not start with this. I can have the combination like this. I can have C2. This is okay, but it cannot be 2C. Right? Then it cannot have any punctuation. Punctuation means commas, full stop, any kind of things I cannot use in between the variables. Just so don't do such kind of things. Then variable cannot be use reserved words. It cannot be user reserved. Now what is that? VAR, it's a keyword that is there in the already in this particular JavaScript. So it's having the preserved. So this word is reserved. So I cannot use this reserved word as a keyword. So I cannot write this one. So where, though it is a smaller case, I cannot write like this. I cannot write where as a variable. According to the rule, it is a variable. So it doesn't have any numbers. It is correct. It is doesn't start with numbers. It is also correct. It doesn't have any special character. It's also correct. But what is the problem over here? Why it is rejected? Because it is a reserved word. Because it's a reserved word. It's a reserved word. Right. Now, what are the tips you have to remember in while writing the program? It is a bad practice to change the implicit type of variable. So as I told you that you don't go for the implicit data type. a variable is initialized as a number, it should always be used as a number only. That is what the implicit. So when you are going for this, as I told you, implicit data type is a is equal to 10, a is equal to character, a is equal to boolean value. You can do it, but what it is saying, doing is not a wrong, but it's a practice is wrong. If you say a is equal to 10 means that a should only allocate as a number only. So I can say now it is 10, you can say 20. Now you can say not 20, it is 100. Now it can say not 100, it is 2000. You can give like that. So that means a is going to accept only number. If you declare in the top, you do that only, but don't overlap it or don't overwrite it to different one. Okay, if it doesn't harm anything, but it says that it's a bad practice. So while as a good programmer, you should not do such kind of thing. Then whenever you are writing the variable, see that it should be meaningful variable. Like somebody will be writing, I will be saying something called where Raju. Now, according to me or according to everyone, this is a good variable. It's a very good variable. Raju is a variable. Yes, no numbers are there, no special characters are there, and everything is fine. So I can write this one. But do you have any meaning to this? So while writing as a good program, you should keep in your mind that chemistry. Okay, so you should be keeping in your mind that it should have only meaningful name. Say suppose I want to store the roll number of the student, so you make the meaningful variable as variable followed by roll number. So I can say roll number, so I can write something like this, ROLLNO. I can write like this. So by seeing this, you can be able to identify, or anybody, if you open anybody your program, okay, they will be understand, okay, seeing this, okay, he has been adding as a roll number, maybe it can be related to the student table or something like that. So I can able to understand by seeing. So as a good practice, you should be use this one. So it's not compulsory, but when you are going for giving for better programmer, for good skills, if you want to develop, then you try to put this, keep in your mind that it should not have, it should have the meaningful names, don't give the unmeaningful names. Then when I'm going for the third, these are all are the basics now. If you miss this, then I can't help. Okay, so then next one is what? Statement. So what we call as a statement, anything that has been written in a single line is called as a statement. So this is a statement, this is a statement. So every line of the programming we call as a statement. Okay, the statement section is a section of the JavaScript that can be evaluated by the web browser. So that each and every line is a statement. So a simply we call that a script. JavaScript is what? It's a collection of statements. This is what the definition I want to tell you. So if I tell in the beginning, then you'll be getting the confusion. So I started with the variables, then assigning the variables, then I have given the rules and regulation of the variables, then rules and regulation of the programming tips. Then I'm telling now, whatever you are writing, that single line itself is a statement, and multiple statements we call as scripting. Okay, so in JavaScript, we call a script is a simply collection of statements. So this is a statement. So you are calculating something, you are assigning something, you are something. So what is this? Variable is there, you are assigning the value as a string value. Variable is there, assigning a digital value. Variable is there, you are doing some calculations. Okay, so all this we call a statement. When I'm writing these statements all together, okay, when you're writing this everything in one place, then we call this as a scripting, because we are using JavaScript, because it has been evaluated by the web browser. So we are going to execute our program. So till now, whatever the programs we learned in the first 2 units, we have executed all the programs on the web browser. So when
Excuse
I'm
me, sir.
executing all the, yeah, tell me.
సార్ ఈరోజు పీడిఎఫ్ సెండ్ చేయరా సార్ మీరు ఈరోజు ఉన్న స్లైడ్స్ అన్ని
పంపిస్తాను.
ఓకే సార్ థ్యాంక్ యూ
So this is how you will be having this kind of things. So when I'm writing all together, we are executing our program in the web browser. So this all we call as a scripting language. So I told you the good idea what is the programming tips, as I told you. So this is how you're going to do. So you can write like this, different values, you specify the different variables, or I can write in a single line like this. But how I'm doing, I'm enclosing. Now this is the termination of the line. That means this is single statement, this is another statement. Okay, so better you write it, this is recommended. But if you want to write it in a single line also, you can write it. It's not a problem. It is acceptable. But the thing is that you have to end every statement with semicolon. So you have to remember that every statement, why we calling this is a statement, because simply if I write a is equal to 3, it's normally it is a some kind of code. But I mean, when I'm enclosing this within a semicolon, then that entire line we call as a statement. And when I'm writing the statement, and when I'm writing the program, if I put some keeping in mind some points, so what are the things should be done and not to done, here you can see. So if I do like this, it's a very good practice. If I do like this, it's also very good, but don't do like this. A is equal to something and writing somewhere. So if you do like this, it will going to give me the error. Okay, so it's an always a good practice for statement. Everything should be enclosed in a semicolon. Although this is not necessary, it will prevent coding errors. So if it's not compulsory, but if it's going to avoid from the errors. Okay, then coming to the, if you see the lot 3 or 4 examples, if you see in this, we have been using some operators. Excuse me. Yeah, I lost the connection. No? I stopped the program over here only, and we'll continue with tomorrow class.